Welcome back to Dota 2 Asian Championship powered by the Score Esports. This is an amazing series. Not like the previous one, Vici Gaming EG, Stomp, fast, this time intense, Secret versus Big God. There is no favorite.
I guess at this point there's not. Teams were very evenly matched overall.
And you mentioned Bat Rider 2, Shadowfin 0.
Yeah, Batrider's undefeated in this series, albeit even with some flubs by ROTK in that last game towards the end.
It is interesting because on the first game, the Batrider was the first pick by Secret. But on the second game, both teams decided to ignore it, not ban it at all, and Secret doesn't even pick it first.
Well, it was Shadowfiend first pick both games, and Batrider was the reply both games.
Yes, and I think Secret thought that they had the reply to that by getting the clockwork. You know, it's a very good answer, but it was not enough. The clockwork was really not good against the sniper, which is surprising because it's one of those heroes that allows you to reach the sniper. But with so many things going on in front, clockwork just didn't have a good game. I think it would be best if this game just the guys decide to ban the Batrider and think about something entirely different.
So I'm wondering, they just swapped. There was no mention of like a coin flip or anything. So I'm assuming it's the same. Then it's Big God will be Dire first pick again.
Yeah, but what I saw the other day in the matches were they were actually giving the choice to the higher seed.
Oh, that's true. Well, Big God is the lower. Secret should be the higher.
Yeah,
seed.
Secret is the higher seed. So Secret should be able to choose what they want.
So did they? I guess the question is, did they choose Radiant or did they choose first pick and then BG want Dire?
I think Secret choose Radiant over everything.
They're not Dire boys?
No.
That makes it an epic clash if they move on to face
right?
CG. You've got the Radiant boys and the Dire boys.
I find it really fun when the two different teams favor the exact opposite. And you sometimes see these duels when
Navi versus Alliance to TI3.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, yeah, give me Radiant. And then the other guy, which is like, oh yeah, give me Dire. I'm like, okay, I stick with Radiant. Now it's your turn to pick. I'm like, give me Radiant again. And you just get the same size and the same picks over and over.
Yeah, the TI3 finals had 5 games in a row with Navi on Radiant.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Alliance with first pick, right?
Because Navi loved abusing the Ancients, right? They would have like the Wind Ranger or Mirana for
Quelling Blade.
They'd Quelling Blade the trees, and he'd just sit there farming Ancients from around the side of the lane. Now we don't see that because the offlane is much easier to access than that was when the offlane was really weak. But yeah, that was a really interesting series. I hope we see something like that again.
Well, I mean, so far, D2IC, DAC, however you want to call it, has not disappointed at all.
No, none of the games have disappointed. It's just something about a BO5. You know, there's just a little more room for that storyline to build up.
I believe that either of these 4 teams, Vici Gaming, Big God, Secret, EG, whoever to get to the finals, we're going to see 5 games.
Okay. We have a promise from the Frog.
That is a bold prediction. But we're going to go into the draft right now. This is game 3 of Big God versus Secret. Winner advances. Loser, you're going home.
But not empty-handed.
No, definitely not. There's a big chunk of money. There's a $3 million total prize pool. 4th place gets $210,000. What would you do with $210,000, LD?
I don't know.
I
haven't thought about that.
He's going to get a home...
Casters don't really win prize money, so it's not a thought that enters your mind.
He's going to get a home theater for a gym or something.
They don't go for the bat, but they do take the Venge, so even if there's a bat pick, one of the better counters to Lasso, air quotes.
3-0.
This has to be what they expected when they picked the Venge.
Oh, they were so quick on the Void. Like, they know exactly what Secret want as far as the Bat Rider, and I imagine they expect the Shadow Fiend as well.
Okay, this is a problem. It's Winter. You said Shadow Fiend always loses, but Rider always wins. Is this going to be a draw? Because they're both on the same team.
That actually makes them stronger because I personally feel Bat Rider plus Shadow Fiend on the same team is a lot of synergy between the two heroes. You lasso into the Requiem.
Okay.
Who was it the other day who... Oh, it was IG versus LGD, right? Where they instantly picked the Void. Are they going to do the same opening? Because they went back for a Drow as well. That was what IG did versus LGD. They first pick Venge, second pick Void, straight into a Drow, and I think they had a Shadow Fiend in that game, which they're not going to get. But it's something we haven't seen at all this series. Maybe it's a hero that isn't on the radar for Secret.
It kind of feels weird saying this, but I'm a little bit surprised with how fast Secret picked Bat Rider. Because usually in do-or-die situations like this, if an enemy goes for an unusual opener in this situation, you will generally think twice before you go for the obvious choice.
It's like, why are they giving us
Why are they giving us Bat Shadow Fiend when they pick the Venge? And there is obviously a very clear plan here for Big God. This opener Venge Void. Venge obviously good against Batrider. Void is good against Shadow Fiend. So all in all, they kind of counter, but it's not like, oh wow, this is just the dream pick against this. But I think maybe Secret, if they went for the Batrider with so much confidence in picking it that early, I am expecting them to have some sort of plan for where they go further after that. Else that was just very quickly to pick it into Venge, who we have seen have pretty good success against the Batrider in previous games. I don't know. I think they might. If they lose this game and Batrider doesn't have a big impact, they're gonna maybe regret how fast they went for this.
Can we check the win rate of Vengeful versus Batrider in this tournament?
The power of on-demand stats.
Yes, that is great.
So 4th ban for Secret now, and then they're gonna have the next pick coming into this phase. They already have 2 of their cores. They're gonna ban the Lion and immediately pick up the
Secret
Witch
steals
Doctor.
the Witch Doctor. 3 and 6, so Vengeful loses to Batrider this tournament. Is that what you're saying?
Batrider has been winning a lot of games. It wasn't really that highly valued in the group stage, but I feel like he's got to have well over 60% win rate. 67, almost 70%.
So it's actually on par with his win rate in general.
So what is the plan for Big God? They picked the Void right away. Do we see like a Skywrath here? Are they just going for a really easy killing combo?
Skyrath should be the next best support after Witch Doctor being snatched away for Secret. You want to have a lot of damage if you're running Void as a position 3, just using him for the Chronosphere.
How do you feel about having Razor with the Faceless Void? Razor pretty good against Shadow Fiend, and
We saw Xiao 8 play it yesterday. Did exceptionally well.
Yeah.
That was the game where they just wrecked EG. It was the one game they won versus them, I believe.
Pretty good Razor game. I'm wondering if they want Tide though. Actually, I don't think they offlane this Void. There is no reason they
You
would
think a
pick
Burning Void?
No, it's
Okay,
off-
maybe.
well, maybe.
maybe
Not
not.
maybe.
So, what made me think it is not that Void can't be run offlane anymore, but I think he's weaker offlane on Dire, and I think when you pick Void this early, you probably have a strategy built. I would have assumed it was built around the Void getting farm, and now that they pick a Juggernaut together with it, who has absolutely no obvious synergy, I'm starting to wonder what the plan is for Big God with this. If this is just like it's the last game, we want to try to take Secret by surprise. They don't really seem phased by this Void pick. Instantly, just snap picking the Bristle back.
Yeah.
There's no direct counter to Bristle yet.
Well, Faceless Bristleback is pretty bad against Faceless Void for the reason that he will be in the Chronosphere. He has to be in the front. But at the same time,
But he's tanky. He's not easy to burst during Chrono.
that is true. Although Faceless Void can make sure that he's going to be looking at his pretty side.
What do you think, Winter? What is the plan here for Big God?
Mainly the Void will be an initiating tool for them, and the other reason I think the biggest reason I would say is just like what Sin mentioned before. He's very good versus Shadow Fiend, and they just want to use that hero against Shadow Fiend, and not necessarily they have a plan, like they want to farm the Void, but it's just they pick the hero for the spell against Shadow Fiend, like the Chronosphere.
Yeah, so, I mean, is there anything else besides Skywrath that jumps out at you as a possibility? The Ancient Apparition ban?
Oh, there it is.
They'll go Skywrath. So
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the International 4. Void Skywrath every game
Voice Kareth and Razor
in the beginning of the tournament.
Yes.
It's funny because there's been some stages during this tournament where we've seen some small flashbacks where teams have drafted almost TI4 lineups, but then TI4, like the best of TI4 mixed with a little bit of flavor from this tournament.
Yeah.
We have it right here. The Juggernaut pick together with the Void Skywrath, and then, well, arguably also Venge, a big pick up this tournament. So they're taking some of the new, some of the old, and trying to mix and match. I'm really not sold on this, though, for Big God. I feel like this last pick needs to do a lot of work. I'm worried, as weird as that sounds, when you have a Void, Skywrath, and Juggernaut, I'm worried if they have enough damage.
Well, could always get a Magnus, but then they have to get through the laning stage.
Yeah, I feel there has to be some kind of range core.
I think Quap would actually be a good
I
pick.
was thinking Windrunner. What do you
Quap
think?
or Windrunner. Quap has more burst damage with the Sonic Wave. Windrunner could work.
Windrunner proved to be very good against Bristleback in that Secret versus
Yeah,
Beachy game, I want to
yeah,
say.
definitely.
So with the Chronosphere to make sure that Bristleback is locked, looking at a specific position, Focus Fire can do a lot. But yeah, Quap is great. It just these heroes will want to build BKB, Shadow Fiend, Bristleback, Batrider. You make sure that the BKB is not a factor when you get Sonic Wave into it, and they're heroes that want to be on your face as well. So
Anything else? There's
I'm not sure though. Xiao 8 likes to run the Alchemist, but I don't think it's good this game.
No.
So probably not.
Triple melee core
yeah,
with
with
the
the
chrono. It's too much.
This has to be a ranged hero.
Yes.
There's
What else
Is
is
the,
there?
the sniper is there? No, it's not.
no, they would have picked that in first place.
There's
Queen. The Queen seems like a very likely choice here with the damage she provides and against BKB heroes.
What else is ranged? Terror Ray is sort of ranged.
It could.
I mean, there's Storm. But
Yes, I was gonna say.
I don't know how great his synergy is with Chrono though.
I'm not sold on him either.
Yeah, me.
The one thing I do like about Storm is they have very little lockdown for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it really synergizes that well.
Do you think they?
Oh, this
Okay.
actually synergizes pretty well.
Yeah.
All right, now they have damage. Good.
A lot of spell damage.
A lot of spell damage. Magical damage
Versus
abounds.
Bristleback, very nice. Also good versus Dazzle to burst him before you can even get off his combination of spells.
And
We-
with Skywrath,
And,
that hurts like
and
hell.
good versus Witch Doctor, because Zeus doesn't have to really see the Witch Doctor. He can aim towards the Death Ward and cancel with the Lightning Bolt.
I feel like a crucial thing to point out here for Big God is they have really strong laning supports, and this is big versus the Shadow Fiend. Because we've seen a lot of times, like that Zeus Shadow Fiend 1v1, the Shadow Fiend just gets free farm anyway, and if the Zeus doesn't have some rotation, he stays. It's a farm trade, and the Shadow Fiend's fine with
We
it.
might actually see something like the teams did in the past, where when they have something like a Skywrath, they just run towards middle lane against the Shadow Fiend. They drop 2 or 3 nukes at the first level to make sure he gets a hard time.
And Secret don't really have the best supports. They can keep the Shadow Fiend alive, but they can't help him secure his farm the same way.
Yeah.
But if the Witch Doctor gets an Axe Scepter, then the story can change, because Witch Doctor is always the X factor in these lineups, where if you overlook him, actually a Chronosphere can work against you instead of in your favor.
He's still somewhat countered. They have the swap, which they can choose to use against him instead of Bat.
Every single one of these heroes can cancel the Death Ward. Yes.
That's true.
Some of them have multiple ways, so
Anyways,
on paper it could be a
Yes.
solution.
we're gonna wrap up this segment and we're gonna go to the caster. It's going to be GoDz and Merlini casting Game 3 of Secret versus Big God. Playing, loser will get 4th place, winner will go to the loser bracket finals versus EG. The game is on your way.
Here we go. It's Game 3, the decider between Big God and Team Secret. On the dire side, it's going to be Team Big God, the mixed, quote-unquote, casual team, which has just casually rocked their way up into the top 4 of a $3 million tournament. Burn, you're going to be playing your Juggernaut, boots first for him. Lan M, going to be on your Vengeful Spirit. Ice, the Pub Star, going to be on the Skywrath Mage. Zeus in the hands of Zhao Wade, and finally that leaves ROTK, Faceless Void in the offlane. For the Radiant side, Team Secret. Your all-star mix of Western players going to have Zai on the Bristleback, Puppy playing the Dazzle, Arteezy going to be on your Shadow Fiend. It's going to be the Bat Rider in the hands of S4, and Kuroki playing your Witch Doctor. Battle for the top lane here. Both teams want this Banner Rune 5v5. Let's go! We fight! Car's going to start bouncing around. It's burning, maybe going to get hit by it twice. Won't get off the Blade Fury, and with 3 Napalm stacks, Big God cannot fight this one.
Race for the bottom rune.
It's like there's 10 heroes top for the Banner Rune. Someone's going to get the bottom one.
I feel like this game is highly dependent on which ROTK shows up to play today. The Feed Lord or the Clutch Playmaker.
We saw a bit of both last game.
Yeah.
As much as you can criticize him, he had a few misplays last game, but he made also some clutch plays. So I feel like it can't be the half and half. I feel like the Secret have got their kind of comfort zone draft. The second pick, Faceless Void, came out of nowhere as well.
I mean, Faceless Void just has a really important job this game. Not getting caught out by Bat, counter-initiating against the Bat, preventing the Bristleback from getting into your support's face, locking down Shadow Fiend so he can easily be bursted down by Skywrath and Zeus. Chronospheres are so important to their lineup this game, and they don't really have that much team fight. I mean, Zeus does a lot of damage, but in terms of AoE lockdown, that's it.
Yep. Zai at top lane will be supported by Puppy on the Dazzle, as he's getting zoned out pretty heavily here. As Big God going to commit both their supports to the safe lane, leaving the mid lane just a pure 1v1 between Shadow Fiend and Zeus, which currently pretty even, 6 CS to the 7 CS, and Yahweh already mana depleted as well.
Crow's getting beat down by Faceless Void. No points in Bash, a little unusual for one that's actually able to get off right clicks.
Yeah. Has got the Magic Stick already to help him just handle the Bat Rider in this lane, and
Xiaoyi's out of mana though. and he doesn't actually have enough money for bottle. So this is actually really bad for him because he just needs one more creep, but he's gonna have to wait like a good 20 seconds to get his bottle, so he won't be able to get the 2-minute rune with it.
Yeah. Now Zeus, I mean, one of those heroes you're very familiar with. Null Talisman first. I feel like normally you go for the full bottle rush here. Is this?
I would say that Null Talisman is not that great of a build just because you really want your bottle before 2 minutes, especially when you have better early game supports. But still, his bottle's going to come out at a reasonable pace. I mean, you're not right-clicking that much. Meh.
Oh, bottom lane, RTK gets Malduked up. 5 Napalm stacks. He needs to Time Walk and Time Walk soon. We'll get back to the tier 2 tower. S4 still chasing, but decides against going for the dive.
That's a lot of stacks.
Meanwhile, top Zai taking heavy harassy. Will get healed back up.
They don't have a salve. But that is most of the support's mana. Skywrath is completely dry, and he also does not have any clarity. So that's a good enough job for your Bristleback Dazzle lane.
Bristle can just go back to base, heal up, TP back in, and then have the kind of HP mana advantage, as well as whatever items he wants to pick up from base.
It's not only that, it protects Shadow Fiend a lot, because he knows Skywrath's not going to be able to gank. He either has to run all the way back home, and then TP to a lane, or TP home and then walk to a lane and gank. So that's like a good minute where he's safe.
Burning's doing something really cool in this top lane, though. The 2 supports were just kind of zoning out the Dazzle, while the healing ward kept them healed up. So like, the supports would trade blows with the Dazzle right-click, but the supports effectively were taking 0 damage because of that healing ward.
That's annoying for them. And it looks like they have done a little bit of lane swappage. Zai in the bottom lane will go up against ROTK, and in the jungle we have S4 already taking out a double stack, it looks like. But I mean, he's only level 4. I guess it's good enough to get some work done.
Has got a bottle coming out now as well. Won't finish off the full big camp though, so not quite the efficient farm he'd maybe hope for, but he can look to just keep on stacking and building towards kind of that maybe 10-11 minute blink dagger with the good safe lane farm start that he did have in lane.
So now RTZ has like a huge upper hand in the middle. Is he going to be able to secure this rune? Let us see. Looks like Xiao 8 will indeed get it.
Big God supports were coming nearby. They could have maybe tried to bait RTZ, and RTZ is going to turn and fight. The lightning bolt is there. They need a concussive shot, but Skywrath doesn't have it, I don't think. Very underleveled Skywrath mates. He's going to turn and raise now. RTZ has backup. Both supports arrive, and Lan M. Maledict going to seal his fate. 2 more right clicks, and Witch Doctor Kuro gets your first blood. Big God support's just so underleveled, and that kind of rotation just doesn't really work for them.
Yeah, if they had a conk shot, I think he would have died. And that's one of the things about the Zeus versus Shadow Fiend matchup mid. The matchup's okay, 1 through 4. As soon as Shadow Fiend hits level 5, you can't really do that much. You can't contest runes, really. You can't push out the wave fast enough. You can't harass him down because he keeps getting all these runes, and it's just too obvious that Big God is going to try and put some pressure on the Shadow Fiend. And I think the pressure came out a little bit too late, and that's where this offlane dual lane came into play.
Well, with that, Secret, I feel, getting a lot of these lanes. They've abandoned the offlane now as RTK in his offlane, going to get maledicted up, has 10 stick charges and will be fine. He's almost level 6, so could look for a Chronosphere setup with maybe a support rotating in, as we'll see Xiao Wei come back towards the middle lane. Look for his level 6. The Zeus ulti with the Chronosphere can add some extra damage for RTK to have some actual solo kill potential in that bottom lane.
They have such good wardage for RTZ in the mid lane. Like, they're protecting both angles that Big God may come from, and they also have not been able to smoke up yet. But looks like Lanam does have a smoke in his inventory, but still approaching Shadow Fiend is just a monumentally difficult task, especially with Puppey around in that area. So Secret, they don't have anyone in the offlane, but I still say their early game is doing very, very well after that first blood and denying Big God a kill on the ever so important Shadow Fiend.
And the other thing is Zeus, one of the heroes, good at de-warding those Observer wards, but he's... The Radiant wards are not in your kind of standard spots, because he was even throwing lightning bots to check the ramp to see if there was a ward on the hill, but having them in slightly different spots, Xiao 8 doesn't find those Observer wards right away.
So Puppey will deny Xiao 8 the bottom rune, and looks like RTZ will get the top rune, so things going better and better for Secret. How is S4's farm halfway to his Blink Dagger?
That's dangerous. That blink timing is going to be...
They did see a ward placed, though, so that's really important.
Okay. Well, hard for Xiao 8 to get over there to de-ward it on his own. He's going to have to probably bring in backup if he wants to do so. For now, can just play around it with the knowledge of where it is, and he's doing okay in this mid lane. It looks like bottom lane they're trying to set a kill. Chronosphere is available with the Skywrath mage sitting behind. No Mystic Flare, as obviously we're just 6.5 minutes in. This Skywrath has been kind of that main support and kind of off-lane zoner.
So Burning is big. Burning is well on his way to a 7-minute Mask of Madness phase boots with 47 CS to his name. And S4 trying to stop this push, but it will delay his Blink Dagger just by a little bit.
They still have done nothing to shut down Arteezy on the Shadow Fiend. He's actually top of the net worth with the help of that kill earlier on, and can also fall back to his neutrals, which he's going to do so now.
Radiant Shadow Fiend is extremely difficult to limit the farm of. Last time it was Dire Shadow Fiend, so I think Secret will be much happier that Sniper was first banned and that they secured this much farm for Arteezy.
Alright, well you mentioned Burning in his farm. We'll see what he can do. He hits level 7, hasn't actually got a TP scroll. Considering he's got Omni Slash, you'd maybe expect for him to look to find an opening to use this cooldown somewhere on the map. But for now, the play is to pressure this top tier 1 tower.
You know, I love how much this tournament has changed from the beginning to the end. Who would have thought that we'd see a first ban Sniper in the...
And Axe ignored.
Yeah.
Axe was not banned or picked. That was the hero with, like, Jug, as well as your 3 Spin Lords, the Troll Warlord.
And Troll, like, almost having no impact last game, too. Like,
yeah. Lasso going to come in. ROTK gets pulled into the Witch Doctor, but here comes your Chronosphere. Zhao Wei's going to have a lot of damage output on top of this one. Can use the ultimate if he needs to. No, oh, just barely enough. The last Arc Lightning gets the kill. Arteezy trying to rotate in, but the Conch Shot going to slow him down, and ROTK has a Time Walk. Will be able to escape. Nice kill. Did cost them 2 ultimates, but I mean that's what those ultis are there for.
It cost him a Lasso. Lasso is very long cooldown at this point in the game. I'm not exactly sure what his plan was. Maybe if it were to Zeus instead of the Faceless Void, I could see a play happening, but it's a Faceless Void with 3 points in jump and 10 Magic Stick charges. That's a difficult... Oh, Burning.
Omni Slash, easy peasy.
Okay.
Couldn't even grave. No time to react. The TP's coming in without an Omni Slash. This is danger, but this is where you need that Lasso. S4 may just be able to napalm down Lan M.
Double raise coming.
Easy raises.
Napalm, good spell.
S4 still up to 1,700 gold. Still looking like he'll have a very nice timing on this blink, but...
Still, Shadow Fiend has not yet perished this entire game. At the same time, Faceless Void's doing, I would say, a little bit better than I expected in the off lane. I mean, it's ROTK, so he has the potential of getting 10 CS or 50 CS at this point in the game. And in between 0 to 6 deaths.
There's no middle ground, too. It's 0 or 6, really. There's no, like, oh, he died once or twice and got, like, a medium amount of CS. No, it's hit or it's missed. And so far, this game, he's been on point. Here comes the backstab from Burning. He's got the Mask of Madness. Arteezy going to be the only one that goes on. Has got the Buckler for the extra armor, and with the Dazzle support, unlikely to get this kill. Requiem being, well, half channel.
I like how he threatens that a lot of the time, too. And, I mean, it's a nice build from Shadow Fiend. I've seen a lot of Shadow Fiends go non-defensive builds, or even like a blink into a BKB. Oh, no.
This time Arteezy actually does throw the ultimate. He solo kills off Zhao 8. Oh my gosh, and Burning now in trouble. Has just enough, well, has the mana for the Blade Fury after popping the Magic Stick, and Maldic not going to do too much with the retreat coming in from Zhao.
Zeus not respecting the move speed slow from Requiem.
How much is the move speed slow?
25%. So it's pretty significant when your Zeus is just sitting on brown boots.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what he's saving up for. Force Staff, maybe. Yules, maybe. But he has not made any sign of what he's going to build. Okay, he will purchase the Force Staff. So no Arcanes up for him. I don't really think he needs Arcanes anyways.
Blink, Smoke, TP Scroll. He's ready to go. The mid lane will be dewarded now by Big God as they keep their Observer Ward on the high ground. They still haven't managed to take out the secret Observer Ward, though, on the high ground themselves.
At least they know it's there. That's really important because it means that Batrider can lasso easily across the hill.
Yeah. That's kind of the next best thing, I think, rather than dewarding. At least
S4 actually has not used his smoke yet.
All right. Well, he's making his way towards mid lane. At the same time, SF has picked up a mech, so a build we don't generally see out of Arteezy as much as some of the other SF players in this tournament.
It's good versus this lineup. I am actually really on board with the mech.
Against the Void, the Jug, a hero that doesn't really have a good answer to Omni Slash.
Yeah, if he goes Blink BKB or like Yules, even Yules is like mediocre, but he just has to have some sort of safety blanket.
Sneaky play from Big God. They went for a 2-hero smoke, I think, hoping to go for a Roshan. He gets the magic missile off him with an Omni Slash. They get the kill on the S4 Bat. That was his Blink Dagger timing. Just as he gets it, they run into him.
And Lottom's positioning and his reflexes too. He like blinked and lassoed and he stunned him before he could.
They smoke immediately again. Is this one the one into the Roshan pit? It looks like no, they're actually going to look to make a play with
They
Chronosphere.
cannot do Roche yet. Not without Juggernaut.
Yeah, earlier it was the Jug and the Venge smoking, and I think maybe intended to go Roshan, but the rest of the team,
They can't.
yeah, exactly.
They
Jug
need-
Venge are the 2 heroes they need. Those are the 2 who can actually kill Roshan on their own if they want to.
They actually see them going towards it. I think if Burning goes this way instead of this way, they actually don't know. But they knew that Observer was there. Their Observer Ward was there is the thing. So now I think they're gonna actually know that it's up as
matter
opposed
of how
to
fast they can bring it down.
Yeah. I guess they're not even interested in contesting. Batrider is around that area, but it's going to be far too late for them. I'm
Void
pretty
has
sure
a Mask
Secret
of
knew
Madness
this
as
was up.
well. That's the other thing. Void with a lot of good damage output. And S4 going to be here too late as Roshan going to be claimed.
And Burning is off to a fantastic start. Look at his farm. I guess Arteezy's farm is a little bit
The
better.
Chronosphere off the mark. Nice reaction from S4 with the double-click blink. Blinks out, but Xiaowe's still nearby. Not going to go for this kill. Nice reactions from S4. Getting away from the Void Chronosphere as RTK puts his ultimate onto cooldown.
That
Not the
means
end of the
that
world, though.
Secret's actually able to push, or at least threaten towers.
Yeah. Xiaowei getting a lot of good scouting information with this Invis rune. About to expire, though. And
They don't have any jump without Faceless Void and ult, though.
they do go for the bolt here, and Arteezy just going to take a bit of harass. Has bottle charges as well as the mech, though, so not going to be too concerned.
So all in all, things...
Bottom lane.
Uh-oh.
They've gone in with a Blink Lasso, and RTK brought down by the Bristle in tandem with the Batrider, so... Got to be careful about how much you give Secret.
Have you seen Bat to the Future? Is that what he said?
I think so.
I've not heard that line yet in all the games that I've casted with Bat.
I didn't know that was a line.
Yeah, that's a rare one. When you think you've heard it all.
Well, I guess, yeah, that's when Bat kills Void. Those hero interaction lanes, some of them are a genius.
That's what makes Dota so good.
Well, Big God now. Looks like Xiaowei with the Staff of Wizardry is going to be picking up a 4-staff. Similar build we've seen earlier today from, I think it was Sumail, going for like a 4-staff just into a Yules and just going for these kind of utility items to help out with your mobility and survival issues.
One hero that's actually way more underfarmed than I expected is Zai on the Bristleback. He actually only has treads and most of the drums. Yeah. He is slightly below Faces Void in terms of net worth. And
Hasn't died as well. He's just didn't get much farm.
Well, he can't really farm that well, though, just because Shadow Fiend and Batrider take priority in stacks, at least up until this point, and they haven't really been able to stack up the Ancients, although Puppey is on that case right now.
Well, to bottom lane we go. Big God with Aegis. Want to try and take some objectives. Chronosphere will be online fairly soon.
They have to make use of each and every one of these chronos. Like, make good use. That is, I mean, even a solo kill on a Bat, I don't even think that's that important, unless it translates into a tower or a Roshan, but that was post-Roshan, so, like, even if they had gotten that, maybe they get to T1, but they can just straight push it and then threaten even bigger kills, getting Arteezy, I would say, in particular, especially since he does not have any mobility items.
It just feels like Secret are one of those super efficient teams. They are always getting so much farm out of the map, getting the best value, and that's where, yeah, if you're wasting a Chronosphere, you suddenly fall 1,000, 2,000 gold behind. You have to play so well to kind of keep up in farm. When
ROTK knows that there's 3 heroes up here. They used his Zeus ult right before.
Well, looking to maybe make a play out of it. The big hero that can kill him is the Batrider. So without the Batrider Blink Lasso, he is safe. I mean, pretty much everyone in the Big God, the Big God 3 core heroes can farm fairly aggressively when they know where the Batrider is on the map.
Yeah, that is true. They can just TP away from almost anyone else aside from Witch Doctor.
There's just no, I mean, there's no other real stuns or initiation. I guess the goo from Bristleback is probably your only other real kill threat with
I mean, they
Bristle
TP
running
out.
in, but yeah, exactly. You TP out, you should be able to handle that
At
pretty
some
well.
point, they're going to need BKBs. We have not yet seen a Mystic Flare combo, nor have we seen an Ancient Seal into Zeus Burst. And that is a lot of damage that I don't think Secret can cope with without BKBs. I mean, I suppose they have Grave and like Heal and Mech, but Zeus's damage output is insane. And here they go with a smoke.
Oh, see what Secret look to try and find here. They're going to walk right into Zhao 8, Blink Lasso.
He has a swap.
Swap immediately using S4's under the tower. Gets stunned. Nice Chronosphere. Catches out 3. Puppey in the middle of it. Kuro going to be the next one target. Actually, Arteezy gets off the mech now. Kuro still getting low. ROTK takes a raise or two. Death Ward as well. ROTK likely to go down to the Maldic unless he gets some insane backtrack. The earn damage there as well. But a 2-for-1 trade. Good Chronosphere coming out. And Zhao 8 being kept alive with some nice defensive play. Lanham dies to the last second there. Zeus now going to turn around. The Omnislash coming to play as well. Arteezy's got no mech left. Yeah, Burning going to get one more kill. Needs to find, well, something a bit more as far as movement speed if he wants to keep up to the Bristleback. But a 4-for-2 trade in the end, and
Man,
great fight.
You know, that wouldn't have happened if Bat Rider's daytime vision wasn't nerfed. It's a level 1 swap. Like he was flying over the trees and he saw Zeus. It was pretty close range, maybe like 500, 600 range, and then Vengeful Spirit was just sitting right outside of Bat Rider's field of vision. And not only did he swap to cancel it, he swapped the Bat Rider in. That's your ideal swap. Generally, you'll see swaps defensively, like on the Zeus, and then you break the lasso, but Bat Rider walks away free, just because that's generally how good the Bat Rider's position is and how poor the Vengeful Spirit's position is.
Yeah.
But Lanham, wow, his positioning right there was impeccable. And of course, ROTK to follow it with a nice chrono, although they didn't get that many kills off of it.
The Big God supports have been on point. Skywrath wasn't there, I guess, for the Mystic Flare inside the Chronosphere.
He did. He Mystic Flared
Oh, he did. Okay.
Dazzle. He killed Dazzle, I believe. Yeah.
Well, Big God now get themselves in an even better position. Jug continuing to outfarm your Shadow Fiend by a very small margin. The actual gold difference is quite small right now. The experience a bit larger, and we'll see Burning once again go for that Shadow Blade build that he likes on his Jug.
It just causes so much havoc around the map, especially when Shadow Fiend has this build. He doesn't have...
Bottom lane, Zai gets Mystic Flare. There's your Zeus ultimate, the Chronosphere as well. And, well, Zai's farming troubles continue.
I remember when Faceless Void was super popular, Alliance tried to experiment a lot with Bristleback versus the Faceless Void, and they would just try and tank him up. Oh, RTK got caught out, lassoed on the bottom lane.
Oh, ROTK, will he get off a Time Walk in time? Doesn't look like it. Top lane, it's Burning, battling it out with Arteezy, but not a fight he's really winning here. It does have an Omnislash soon. Gonna pop the Healing Ward and look to maybe re-goose, but the TP out from Arteezy will keep him safe.
They have the very good Observer Wards to protect Arteezy in the top lane.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bristleback versus Faceless Void, it's good in theory, but at the same time, like if you catch Bristleback, he's generally just dead. Especially since Faceless Void has that like incredible move speed inside of Chronosphere. If your Faceless Void has any sort of decent farm, then he'll be able to kill the Bristleback. So I don't think he's like the big tank necessarily that you'll usually see Zai be. Generally, they like don't play against Axe and LC when you have the Bristle, and then I guess Faceless Void is one of the better counters versus him too. Timber, decent as well, but I don't really see him being able to make that much of impact, but we shall see.
Burning going to Shadow Blade forward, and no contest over the room from Secret. It does feel like RTK needs to be a bit careful. Plays like that where it's a 1-for-1 trade with him and Bristleback sound okay on paper, but he spent a lot of time trying to find the kill. He wasn't farming while Zai was farming, because Zai's actually overtaken him on farm at this point.
He needs BKB,
yeah,
so he doesn't die.
Both him and Zai, and they're both working on it mid lane. There will be another lasso immediately cancelled again. Lamb has been on point with this Vengeful Spirit play.
He really has. This is without really that much vision around the map, too. They don't have a ward in the mid, and Secret also has a sentry ward to make themselves feel a little bit safer about these ganks, but Vengeful Spirit.
By the way, Venge with a very interesting skill build.
The 1-1-1-1?
I've never seen this before. I mean, he's got Burning on his team. It's the Burning build, so... The
it's not
1-1-1
bad.
stats.
Yeah.
I don't know. Puppey caught out in the jungle here by the Zeus Skywrath combo, and well, that's the Ancient Seal with the Zeus ultimate damage amplification, and we'll see the tier 1 tower now looking to be claimed by Burning on the Jug. Chronosphere is available. They go in looking for Arteezy. He gets the BKB off. No damage output to follow this up. They're just going to leave him inside. The Omni Slash is there, though. Arteezy gets graved up. He blows up, burning on the jug. Perfectly timed Requiem as Souls. They're going to lose Void as well. Zhao Wei looking to TP out. Lamb will not be so lucky. 3 for nothing. They get the tower, but a disaster in the mid lane.
That was one of the worst Chronospheres.
I thought he was just going to chrono the Bristleback, and it probably would have just been better if he chronoed and killed the Bristle.
Well, they didn't have Mystic Flare too. I don't exactly know what he was going for. Like even if he hadn't BKB, would that have mattered? I don't think so.
They weren't killing Arteezy.
Yeah, they weren't killing Arteezy. He went to super tank build. He has a lot of armor, he has magic immunity, he has a ton of strength, he has 1400 HP, and on top of that, Burning didn't spin after his Omni. I don't actually know if he could have, potentially.
Maybe mana the Shadow Blade, that's the one of the big weaknesses is that you do have mana problems with the Shadow Blade if you're using it to move around the map.
Yeah, I guess potentially he didn't have it, but I mean, wow, if they had the Aegis there, it would have been a lot different, but still, ROTK, I guess he needs to be more patient with his Chronospheres, or just either more patient or less hesitant. Like either or. He's like kind of in that I'm going to go in, but it's at the exact wrong moment where they were. Like he was in a pretty well fortified position too. He was like in this tree area instead of at the T1. At the T1, it's much better for them because everyone's closer and they can follow up. But catching him with his BKB up in that sort of position is terrible.
It just looked like a fight where they didn't need to use the Chronosphere. They should have just taken the T1 tower and backed off without the Mystic Flare. With Zeus Ultimate also on cooldown. They didn't have the scouting information as well as the extra damage from the Zeus Ultimate. They'd use that to kill Puppey in the jungle. It was an unnecessary risk from ROTK. But hey, high risk, high reward has generally been his playstyle, and we'll see how things pan out here from Big God. That gives Secret a bit of an edge. Roshan has respawned, but
it's such a crucial fight to lose before Roshan. At least they get the tower, but at the end of the day, that's certainly not worth it. Now they have BKB up on Zai and no BKB in sight for ROTK. He almost has his Mithril Hammer, and here they go. Oh. They Zeus ult. They have vision inside, although it didn't do any damage. But can they actually get a good Chronosphere into a fight?
Ooh, S4 getting some vision here. The Dazzle Weave also being used. ROTK going to lose a lot of his armor off of this. They still want to work onto Roshan. Here comes your Void Chronosphere. Hits Puppey as well as Zai. That's a decent Chronosphere if they can kill off your Dazzle. No Graves to worry about. Now Kuro, his ultimate not getting cancelled. Bernie going to go down to the Death Ward. He's Blade Fearing, and the Omni Slash did not do what was needed. Lasso going to pull back Zhao Wei. Down will go your Zeus. Unless that Force Up out can save him, but with a Flame Break and the earn damage, no blink available for him. ROTK and Ice Ice just hiding on the side as Arteezy will look to finish off Roshan.
Man, one bad fight leads to this snowball effect of, wow. I mean, I'm speechless at how much of a lead Big Guy just threw away. That is incredible. They got a pick. They could have gotten a T1 and just gotten out. Instead, they lose 3 heroes for T1, and then they lose the Juggernaut again, and then they lose the Zeus, and on top of that, they lose Roshan. So that's like I don't know, 7,000, 8,000 gold. And it could have potentially been so much better.
It sets Secret up for success. They get an Aegis, they get multiple towers, their item progression skyrockets, and meanwhile, Big God, burning his jug, his item progression suddenly just vanishes. He's going to really be struggling to finish his next item or two after dying twice in a row and having very little uptime for the last 3 or 4 minutes.
I think that Arteezy has been really good about his item builds in this whole entire tournament. He switches it up often. The Blink Yules, the Mech, the BKB, Shadow Blade occasionally, Manta if he needs it.
They're going to smoke back. ROTK could be in some trouble here. The Blink Lasso is there. No swap available. Zeus will ultimate, but it's too late for ROTK. No Chronosphere available. The Time Walk out may be enough to get him back to safety. Are they going to swap him out? They do to the high ground. He's now going to earn himself up. Zaya wants to chase, but instead going to go for Lamb on the Vengeful Spirit. Witch Doctor ultimate on the high ground. Now it looks like Zai with a BKB happy to be nice and aggressive here. They've taken out, they did end up killing off the Void there. Oh dear, double buyback now from Big God, triple buyback as they lose to Skywrath Mage as well. Arteezy looking for the Requiem, gets Chronosphere, but where's the damage? He got the BKB off. Omni Slash will finish off Arteezy, but he's going to respawn in a second. Zai gets graved up, clutch play from Puppey. Zai still alive for the time being. They don't have the damage to finish him off until finally Zeus does it, but 3 buybacks, a dieback from your Skywrath Mage. Jug can't do anything. He's got no Omni Slash, and Big God are dying in their own fountain here by the tier 4s. Lamb going to go down to the Maledict if he's not careful. They don't even care if they kill him off at this point. Not enough damage. They actually swap into the fountain. Kuro, he dies there. Someone unnecessarily. Lamb will survive. Big God, very expensive hold.
Yeah, they lose like 6 heroes there. Oof.
All of a sudden, Secret topping the net worth chart in multiple areas.
It all
3,000 gold
started
swing.
with that ROTK Chrono in the mid. I mean, it was on his shoulders this game, and I'm not sure if you realize the importance of his Chronospheres that game. They have to be amazing in this game, or else Secret will just punish you so heavily for one botched one. I mean, there were 2 botched ones. One, like, right after the Roche, and then where Secret ended up getting the mid tower, too. And it didn't seem like that big of a deal, but that just makes things so much easier for Secret to push into their Anxious and into the Roshan pit for that second contest.
I mean, you talked a bit about Arteezy's itemization. He's completed a Skadi. This game has just been all about tanking up. His itemization, his decision-making has been what's probably, to me, most impressive about him this tournament. Known for his kind of mechanics and laning and being such a great farm and all that, but you go back like to the Cloud9 series, that Game 2 decision to TP in and go for the throne. This guy has shown some just incredible decision-making under pressure.
Yeah, you really have to admire what he's done throughout this whole tournament. Well, Big God, they didn't lose a T3, but they did lose, what, 10,000 net worth in the past 7 or 8 minutes?
I mean, just look where Void is so far down now compared to where he once was. He was on par with the Bristleback, maybe about 800 to 1,000 net worth behind, but suddenly Bristleback has almost twice his net worth.
To be fair, this is a fairly difficult lineup, I think, for Faceless Void to shine in. Just because of a lot of things. The super tanky Bristle, 1700 HP, and a fair amount of armor, 18 armor, so he's not easy to kill. On top of Bristleback, they have the Shadow Fiend with ginormous amounts of HP. Witch Doctor Ward, if he doesn't catch Kuro will just channel it. If he gets lassoed and Lanham's not close by, he also dies. And then on top of that, if he doesn't catch Puppy will just grave. And we saw... Oh, no.
Oh, the insta-swap from Lamb. Zeus going to ulti as well. Cancel any follow-up Blink Daggers. BKB from S4 will look to slow down Lamb. ROTK has a Chronosphere, but getting kills inside that Chrono is very difficult without an Omni Slash or a Mystic Flare. So they'll get the kill in the Vengeful Spirit. Korea's got to get the hell out of here. Arteezy trying to chase it down, won't be successful.
Now it's just getting to that point where everyone has made like decent plays this game, but Juggernaut and Faceless Void, they are just too underfarmed at this point relative to Secret. Juggernaut is 3,000 gold behind the Shadow Fiend, and Faceless Void is 5,000 gold behind the Bristleback.
It just seems like a bit of an odd choice. I mean, to go back to the draft a bit, the second pick on the Faceless Void, a hero we've seen very little of all this tournament.
I think it can
Such a big
work,
match.
but not for ROTK, just because he's not consistent enough on his offlane. And there's too much room for error, I would say, on the Faceless Void. And like Bat Rider, you have some misses, you have some good ones. That's good enough. For Faceless Void, you miss 1 or 2 chronos, it's game losing. Or even have subpar chronos.
We'll see what the next move for Secret is. Right now, they're probably feeling pretty comfortable. Pushing out this bottom lane, it seems, is going to be where they look to take their next angle here. Still no BKB for ROTK. About 500 gold off of it, though, so...
They have to play keep away and just be able to farm without getting picked up by Bat. I don't think they can take a 5-on-5 on this point, but at the same time, they also can't afford to give Secret another Aegis and Cheese. Aegis and Cheese, Aegis on Shadow Fiend and Cheese on Bristle, or vice versa, that is just exactly what Secret needs to break the high ground. And they're very close to that point. It's not unmanageable for Big God just because of the potential for big chronos, like 4-man chronos, especially with like Zeus being able to scout them out. But Secret's been doing a very good job of limiting the damage from the chronos, aside from the T1 in mid.
And we've seen Arteezy inside a Chronosphere. If Jug can get an Omni Slash on him, he will melt. He can't easily dodge those. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger to get out of there. Even with the Skadi mech, if you get a Wave of Terror plus a full Omni Slash on Arteezy, that's his HP gone.
They
so.
probably had to do a little bit more than that, to be honest. He has a lot of armor.
Actually, yeah, with the Skadi,
it's only level 1
time
Howl,
to
too.
change. Okay.
Or actually level 2 now. But
That's where it's also surprising. You're so lacking on damage on the Big God side as far as physical damage goes. Having just level 1, now level 2 Wave of Terror seems like a interesting choice from
well,
Lion.
he didn't expect them to be low on damage. I don't think he expected Burning to die a few times, ROTK to die 6 times now. And yeah, it's feast or famine for ROTK. He was doing well, and then just mishap after mishap.
Looks like he will be able to finish a BKB off at least. 100 more gold to find in the middle lane, and
I mean, Shadow Fiend now, like, he can go for Satanic or Butterfly, and that just compounds the problems for Big God.
he's got an Eagle Song. He's so far ahead of everyone. No one comes close to him. The Jug is a full 4,000 gold behind.
Yeah.
And Zeus is just... I mean, we haven't even really seen the Zeus.
S4 looking for a gank on ROTK, and here he goes again.
Oh, another swap. Lamb has been on point, and
He has been saving their hide.
it's one of those things, like, that's not... Big God aren't baiting ROTK there. The Venge is just there in case he gets ganked. It's not like they're using the swap and then turning it around and getting kills on Secret. So that puts the swap on cooldown as well as the lasso. Gives Big God a little bit of breathing room.
Lanums knows that ROTK has been in predictably bad positions.
Oh. Hey. There's someone you think may be getting ganked. Generally, it's ROTK. I mean,
So, Bristle and Zai, or sorry, Bristle and Faceless Void were neck to neck in farm. Now he has a Shivas on top of his BKB.
it's a full tier 4 item ahead. And this is where the damage output's going to get reduced even further. With the Shivers Guard, that's extra armor for him. SF's going to have a Butterfly soon, which is evasion as well as just extra agility, so more armor, more attack speed, more damage. Just a bit more survivability against the Omni Slash as well.
If Big God can somehow get next Roshan, I think they can come back into this game. But Secret, I mean, if you're in Secret shoes, you know that's their only avenue for comeback is having a big play at Roshan. So all you need to do is just 5-man around the pit and just secure that area. And it's 9 minutes past the last Roshan death, so it's anytime it could respawn now, and Big God uses a Zeus ult to scout out, and I mean they're just taking no chances. They have Bat Rider, they owned the last Roshan fight, so there's no reason to fret at this point.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Big God are going to have to take some chances to get back in this game. RTK goes to the high ground here, force off away. S4 almost overextends a bit there. We'll get back to safety, and there's no buyback on your Jug. He just bought a full Skadi, realizing that you can't really be buying back and expecting to win the game at this point. He's got to just use what money he can. And
the chrono is make or break here. It's you win the fight during the chrono or you lose.
I feel like to go even more important than the Chronosphere is maybe the Omni Slash, because that's so much of their damage. Blink Lasso to start things off. It's going to be onto Lamb on the Vengeful Spirit. They try and bring him down first. The Chronosphere comes out only on S4. Witch Doctor Ultimate onto Bird. There's your Omni Slash. Cancels the Witch Doctor Ultimate. Grave comes out as well. The Omni Slash gets no one. Buyback from Zeus as well as Vengeful Spirit. It looks like Burning going to go down. As said, no buyback for your Juggernaut. And with Lamb going down as well to follow this up, that's a dieback. An ultra kill for Arteezy. It looks all over for Big God. ROTK calls GG. Team Secret advance to the top 3, and where they'll take on Evil Geniuses for a spot in the grand finals. Not bad for a casual team, though.
Not bad at all. Congratulations to Big God, 4th place. Some mistakes here and there. I mean, they played really well in games 1 and 2. This game, not so much. I guess Lanham played really well, but overall their performance has been better than expected and looks to be the next powerhouse.
Well, we'll see what happens
Casual,
to this team. It's hard to know what's going to happen with this team. If they stick together, if they go their different ways, some of them joining the big organizations.
I think it's safe to say that all of them will keep playing, though.
Yes.
Even
the new face, Ice, likely to be one of those players that some of these big teams may look to pick up. Because some of these other teams, your LGDs, your IGs,
you always need good supports, man. Always need good
supports are the first ones to get replaced as well. When the team's not doing well, you blame the supports. So, I don't know. Well, maybe in Big God's case, you're probably not blaming the supports here. But Big God, as said, 4th place, not bad.
Rough series.
Yeah.
Rough series for them.
I mean, Secret as well, a team that coming into this tournament and just based on how they win the group stage, by and far one of the best teams here. So
they make the least mistakes, I think, of most of the teams.
Yeah.
Or at least in the series that I've casted from them. They make just far less mistakes than others.
Apart from the series yesterday against Cloud9, completely agree. It seemed Cloud9 kind of rattled them yesterday, and that's where coming in today I was like, I don't know how Secret are going to do. Something about just Jackie Mao maybe got Artur off his game. But yesterday they looked a bit shaky. That game 3 that Secret won was not convincing. It was probably one of their worst games of the tournament, even though they won it. But now that they've got some momentum, they took down Big God. Was a 2-1 series. They verse EG next. Let's see if they can ride the wave.
I mean, they've had a lot of tough series. Vici, Big God, Cloud9. I mean, they. Some people thought it was going to be easy number 1 after the group stage, but these teams have something else to say for it.
Lots of amazing Dota here at the Dota 2 Asia Championships. And, well, to discuss this amazing series we just watched, we've got the panel.
Another team's road ends now with Big God losing 2-1 versus Secret. And people on Reddit will have to find someone else to point their pitchforks at right now. Secret, they didn't have the best of starts.
But they were obviously cheating, though.
Of course, yeah.
Right?
That's how he hit so many great chronos. He knew they were coming,
Yeah. Bam.
Nails them.
Absolutely. Let's start by the good things. The lineup was good. The lanes were pretty good for Big God. And Lan was
there even
pretty
a
much-
lasso?
pretty much carrying the team once again, almost to victory by himself.
That's why he went for stats.
Yes, we were talking about that. What was the build again?
He forgot what hero he was playing. He
Right.
thought he was Juggernaut and played with max stats. I actually thought the build was pretty good.
Maybe Burning told him, it's like, it's a 1-1-1 build. Burning works for everything.
I played on Antimage, I played on Juggernaut, you should try it on Venge. But I'm not carrying Burning, it's still good. It's the build.
How many points of stats? Did he get to 7 points of stats?
I think so.
Yeah.
We were joking about how he skilled Wave of Terror, and I think he skilled it because he couldn't skill stats.
And then he went right back to
And then he skilled
stats.
stats again on level 12. 6 or
Yeah.
7 points.
I felt that game purely came down to execution. Big God, you could see their strategy. It was completely capable of working. To me, the game turned on that one fight mid. RTK dives onto the Shadow Fiend. It was kind of a telegraphed move because they'd already killed off the Dazzle, rotating towards mid. They continued to chase. RTK time walks in from like right below where the tier 1 is, all the way up to where that ramp is that heads to the Ancients. He gets an okay chrono, but it was just too deep to dive. Arteezy managed to either pop his mech or his BKB. Survives, the Dazzle's there to help keep him alive. I think he'd used even the weave right before that, and then the fight just falls apart. They give up 3-4 kills.
I'm Burning with the Omni Slash and doesn't spin later, and he gets just the end of the Omni Slash as the Requiem finishes.
We didn't get to check if he had mana. I believe he did have the cooldown, though, so if he didn't get to cast it, might have been down to his item build. Went for
Shadowblade.
Shadowblade first, which does tax your mana pool, but is Juggernaut. But yeah, it was just execution. And I mean, the one player who executed consistently this entire series was Lanham. He was on point, but yeah, it's live by the big ultimate, die by the big ultimate, and unfortunately RTK just couldn't find enough big chronos this game, and I think just the fight selection as well was a bit suspect. But credit to Secret, they played extremely well, and well, they've got a date with EG. I think we all thought if anyone was coming from the lower bracket out of these two teams, the longer way, it would probably have been EG. But
Yeah.
they've been waiting, they've been watching, and I guess the question will be, do they have something prepared for Secret? I know they'll be confident. I mean, with PPD as your captain, you're always confident.
PPD will have something up his sleeves.
Yeah.
And you-
Peter
you-
Pandam.
You actually heard, I don't know if you particularly heard the interview that he had recently that we were showing at some point during the break. He has quite a rivalry with Arteezy now. They're not
Yes.
really on good terms.
Not just him. Fear and Arteezy, maybe it's more good natured, but they like to do their caveman.
But Zai is
thing.
cool. That's what they said. Zai is cool. It's fine.
Arteezy's
We
a
forgive
jerk.
it.
Apparently.
Arteezy, fuck you. We want to prove we're better without you. And they will have the chance on the best of 3 that comes later. But let's look at the brackets right now and let's see how Big God's road ended and who else was left behind. Seems like it was yesterday that Cloud9 was eliminated. Wait, it was yesterday that Cloud9 got eliminated.
Seems like it was yesterday.
Brilliant insight, Bruno. Your grasp of chronology is
Looks
simply
like the
unparalleled
playoffs.
in the casting scene.
Looks like the playoffs started on February 5th.
Yes.
Is the conclusion.
And they will end on the 9th.
Mhm. I like how the grand finals are so long that span 2 days. Sunday, February 8-9.
Time zones, man.
Depending on your time zone.
Yes.
Bruno, get it together.
I kind of wish I could see a best of 11.
So it's America versus Europe.
It is America versus Europe, and
But
the winner gets to play China.
With the traitor Arteezy in the mix.
Mm.
He's betraying North America.
Yes. And actually, EG is fully American right now.
Yes. Well,
Yes. I mean,
fully North America.
Fully North American, yeah.
We have to give the Canadians their due. They still think they're a country.
Unbelievable.
Someday they'll learn.
They are the hat of America. But Valve likes hats, so
The
maybe
hat.
that's an advantage.
That.
In any case,
He's so clever.
Winter. Coming into this match, EG get some rest, but also they lost to VG Gaming.
They got
Six-
stomped by Vici Gaming.
They got stomped. I actually didn't get to see that game. I was working at that point.
It was one of the more one-sided series of the tournament, and it was the
Which
winner.
one was that?
The Vici Gaming series.
the one today, the
versus-
first one today.
versus
VG
EG?
EG.
versus EG.
Was that an absolute stomp?
Not an
I-
absolute stop, but they were convincingly beaten, especially
Yes.
in game 2. They got manhandled.
They were
by
just
VG.
better.
Yeah.
But to me, a stomp is where one team just gets 20k behind in like 30 minutes, which was
Okay,
not the
it wasn't
case.
quite that bad. It was
But it
pretty.
was-
It was pretty for a match of that caliber. It was quite
a clear
one-sided.
victory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be EG versus Secret, two of the teams that know each other the best. Not only because they played each other a lot, but also because they had players from the other team. So Secret will probably know a lot of the strategies that PPD keeps to himself, because Arteezy was playing with them not so long ago.
Do you think he paid attention to the strats? Wasn't he just like, give me my hero, I'll play mid? Did you watch the interview with Sumail?
Well, okay, maybe not Arteezy, but Zai.
PPD
He's a
says,
listener.
PPD says not to gank. Sumail gank.
Yeah. did you watch the interview with?
No,
with
I
Sumail?
did.
It was like, so what do you do in the draft? Do you have like, well, I don't, honestly, I don't really care. I'll just suggest my hero. I get it some of the times, and then when PPD makes calls in the games, sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't. It's like, don't dive, and I will dive if I see a kill.
PPD
kid
does
is
not. He does
uncontrollable.
not tolerate disobedience. It will.
No, but I think he likes it in the end, because he's the one that's picking these players from NEL and just trying to bring them into competitive Dota. So he must enjoy being the fatherly figure, and what a stern father he is.
Yeah, even AOI-chan is slowly coming under his thumb. He's been told he talks
You
too
talk
much.
too much. That's exactly
I
the
will
same
say I
as
love
shut up.
Curtis dearly. He's incredibly intelligent about Dota, but he does talk a lot. And I could see PPD, Fear, these guys are brief with their words.
Yeah.
Just a very different style towards the game.
But I do enjoy how when he talks. He says a lot, and I mean he does it in a very verbose way, but he also gives a lot of insight. I do remember interviewing him when he was at Cloud9 was the best thing in the world, because Jackie would get angry at him saying stop talking, because I would ask him like, why did you pick Phantom Lancer in this particular game? Or why did you decide to ban? I would be like, well, it's interesting because we have a strategy that we planned on a screen, and Jackie like. And he would love to talk, and then the cameras would cut off, and he would finish explaining. But it's pretty cool. If I ever have a competitive team, I will be able to play against his.
The interesting thing about that match I would want to see is Chen versus Enchantress. Both
Yeah.
the teams, they have strategies revolving a lot
Around junglers.
around the mid junglers and the mid player.
Yeah.
So Chen and Enchantress would be something a probable matchup between the teams, and maybe Invoker versus Storm, or Invoker in particular to gank the sniper.
Yeah, the potential on every single one of the lanes is going to be amazing. We're going to have Arteezy versus Sumail. I want to say the new guy versus the old guy, but Arteezy is barely 18. So he's not an old guy at all, and he just came out in the scene last year.
The new guy versus the replaced guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
the placement sounds so...
Oh, the guy who left.
Okay, fair enough.
So technically, the replacement versus the old.
The old guy, yeah. It's just that replacement sounds like you're dismissing Sumail, and he's been proving that he's one of the best mid players of this tournament. He does not play like Arteezy. They have different playstyles.
Yeah, very different, both of them.
It's not just the player; it's the way the team strategy is constructed around them as well.
Yeah.
EG are playing a lot more aggressively than they were back with Arteezy, I would say. We see a lot more like snowball type heroes for Sumail, and then the strategy kind of revolves around that. I've seen Fear playing Troll where he'll rush a Shadow Blade and he'll just run around the map looking for kills. Like you look at the old EG, they were oftentimes a lot more systematic, kind of wait for the ticking time bomb, the Naga Siren, the Tinker to come online. Part of it was the version, but even when it was like a Razor, they just have a different pace right now.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how that matches up against Secret, who actually kind of remind me more of the old EG, where they tend to draft Arteezy more of that late gamer. They tend to look for slightly deeper timings into the game, and they're just a little more deliberate, it seems.
I think Beastmaster could be something to look out for in a matchup because it allows them to do their fast-paced game. They want to control the map and look for pickoffs with. I think Beastmaster plus Storm would be a good way to deal with like the greediness that
Well-
Secret have.
It's one of those. It's a chess match, right? PPD and Puppy, both fantastic drafters. Are they if they get the storm, it's because Secret feel confident they have something to prepare that will deal with it. So
I think they'll ban Beastmaster all 3 games,
Okay.
actually.
really
Yeah.
first phase.
I would agree to that. I
But
think
they're
it-
probably going to give Storm and then they'll counter it.
Do you think it'll
Okay.
there'll be a possibility of Chen versus Enchantress?
Yes, but in that case, it's EG that picks the first one. I don't think EG will go for the counter.
I think
counter
EG
pick
would
to-
definitely be the team. If EG gets Chen, then maybe Secret responds with an Enchantress,
Yes.
but I don't see EG picking the
pick-
Enchantress.
Exactly. That's. I would agree with that.
I think it just comes down to AUI 2000's jungle style. He's not really the aggressive jungler type of
We
player.
could see Chen versus Enigma, though.
Yeah, that's
very
something that
possible.
could happen.
For both
Yeah,
teams.
That,
both
that
teams play
sounds
both.
much more possible.
I wouldn't be surprised if EG bans the Enigma in the second phase, though, because
Yeah.
it's one of those
It could be a first phase pick, even.
consistent picks. Oh, you see Enigma in the first? Wow,
It could happen, yeah.
that would be something.
It's happened before in this tournament. For Hellraisers.
Yeah.
So it's
About that.
possible.
Guys, we're gonna go into a break. When we come back, we'll have the loser bracket finals or consolidation finals, however you wanna call it. What matters is it's going to be the Western duel for ages, EG versus Team Secret. We'll be back in a bit. In the meantime, go to Twitch chat and check some toucans.
At eBettle, we have made it simple for you to join in on the action. You can bet real money on your favorite teams and the biggest tournaments in eSport. It's so easy that everyone can do it, but remember, you have to be at least 18. Combine your winning betting slip and make the victories even more glorious. Join us on the front row and experience a greater world of esports betting. Trust your knowledge and bet now. Go to ebettle.com. The game begins.